Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Zainab, and I wanted to share this video. I think this is one of the videos that did it for me. Speaking on this video is one of my favorite coaches, Coach Laquail. She just nailed it. And for those of you who are actually going to watch it to the end, you'll understand why, this means a lot. So just watch and listen.
What's up, y'all? Listen. Hey, I got a quick message for y'all. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm about to get outside and go for a walk. But I wanted to get on here because, I always know that things that I experience, things that I think, things that I feel, things that happen are not always just for me. And so I got a message for y'all today. Y'all might want to share this live. Listen, this is definitely not going to be long, 20 minutes max. But I know that this is going to help somebody. So this is the message, and then I'm going to talk about it. And guys can feel free to drop some questions or some comments. This is the message. Don't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. Don't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. Laquail, what do you mean by that? One thing that I definitely pride myself on is being self-aware. Really being in tune with myself. How I feel, how things affect me, what I think about things, why things affect me the way that they do, why I feel the way that I do, which is what's helped me in 8 years continue on my entrepreneurial journey, make over $2 million, do a lot of amazing things in my life because I've always been aware of where I am, where I stand, and how to move forward. So I'm going to pull it up one more time because I see new people joining. Don't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. When I think about life, I'm going to say for me, when I came up with that message, it was because of something I'm dealing with personally. My life is really on an upward swing. I'm very excited. And with that excitement comes a little fear because I'm feeling and experiencing things that I'm embracing. And it's also reminding me of the last time that I felt this way, I got hurt. The last time I felt this way, it brings up some memories that I don't really want to remember. And I'm sharing that with y'all because when I thought about it when it comes to business, when I thought about it when it really comes to life, a lot of times we stop things. We stop doing things. We stop showing up. We stop because something happens that reminds us of the last time we did something like this and it didn't work out. When I think about, how big rejection is such a hindrance to so many people when it comes to business. Because when you offer somebody your product or your service or a sample or something and they don't accept it or they reject it, we don't like that feeling because it triggers us to remember another time in life that we were rejected. So even though if I'm offering somebody a sample, I'm offering somebody a product, hey, and they don't want it, that's not even personal to me. That's not any reference as to who I am. That's not like you're not a great person, so I don't want your product or service. That's not the case. But the feeling behind it reminds you of a time when it was personal. When someone did reject you as the person. When someone denied you as the person. In business, it's not about you. But when that happens, it reminds you of when it was personal and it was about you. And so I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know who this can help. But I want you to know that you can't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. I'm going to put the message up again. I have a gift that God has given me to make little sayings. I have a whole ebook of my quotes. So this is it. Don't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. So when you read that, when you hear that, when you hear me say it, everybody's going to take it a different way because it's going to prick something in each of us that's different. For some of you, it's going to be a relationship. For some of you, it's going to be business. For some of you, it's going to be both. For some of you, it's going to be something. It could be a time that you rejected yourself. And so I want us to really understand that fear is false evidence appearing real. And when something happens to trigger you, I want you to decide that you're not going to respond the same way you always do. I want you to say, I'm not going to respond the way I usually do. Usually when this happens, like I said, this message was for me in a personal situation. And I've already made the decision that my response to it is not going to be what I usually do. Because what I usually do never worked for me. What I usually do made it worse. What I usually do makes me feel bad. So as I'm still healing, as we all are from something, I'm wise enough to understand that I still learned the lesson from the past, that I can't respond the same way in the future. That was my lesson. My lesson was, okay, you felt a certain way and it didn't work out for you. You got hurt behind it. How could you have handled it differently then? I already know how I could have handled it differently then. I could have communicated. See, one thing that I do a lot of times when it comes with dealing with people is, sometimes it's hard for me to have those real tough conversations. I'm going to keep it a buck. Sometimes it's hard for me to have those real tough conversations. And so instead of having the tough conversations, I used to distance myself from the person because I didn't want to be too much. I wanted to really assess how I was feeling and all of those things. But when you're not in the best space, isolating yourself is not going to help you get in a better space. Because now all you have is your own thoughts, which are not serving you. And so, like I told y'all, this wasn't going to be long, but I just want you to know on August 9th, 2023, to not be afraid to feel because it didn't work last time. Don't be afraid to get into that new relationship because the last relationship didn't work. Don't be afraid to start that business because you failed the last time you did a business. Don't be afraid to talk to that person because the last person you talked to rejected you. Don't be afraid to take that chance for something that could really impact your life in a positive way because the last time you took a chance, it didn't work out. So that's my public service announcement for today. Is to don't be afraid to feel because the last time it didn't work out. And whatever that means to you, just know you heard it for a reason. I've learned nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by coincidence. Everything happens when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to, good, bad, or indifferent. So if you're on this live right now, it's because you probably needed that message in some form or fashion. Or someone that you know needed that message. So that's, that's all I have to say on my own. Does anybody have any questions? If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the question box next to the comments, or you can just type them in the comments if anybody has any questions. But I want you to know that, every experience we have in life, there's something that you're supposed to learn from it. Sometimes we focus so much on the loss that we don't take the lesson. We focus on losing and not learning. And I never, none of us can change anything that's ever happened to us in the past. But what we can do is make sure that that situation was not in vain by learning what we needed to learn so that we can operate differently. Understanding what we need to understand so we can change our mindset. And doing what we need to do so history doesn't repeat itself. So I am going to save this live. I know it's short, so I'm sure people will watch it because, we got short attention spans, child. But I love each and every one of you. And I just, I'm the type of person I know when it's something that's really heavy on me, I know it's for somebody else too. It's not just for me. So I just wanted to go live and share that with y'all. I hope that it does help someone. Thank you for the people that said they needed to hear it. And I'm excited for whoever else watches this that needs to hear it as well. But just know that I love y'all, man. And we in this thing together. Don't be afraid to feel. Because the last time it didn't work out.
Now, this was the call that changed my journey.